you are joining us via the internet and every household member is using bandwidth for their device, you may experience quality issues. I'm going to pause for a moment and let those who are logging onto the Zoom platform get situated. We want to give everyone a chance to make sure the volume on their computer or device is turned on. To our participants, you may see a mic icon on the app. You want to tell me if you think we're good? Okay, we are good to go. Please note that everyone will be muted until we're ready for the public engagement portion of the meeting. When we get to questions and comments, listen for your name or phone number, and the moderator will call out who is allowed to speak at that time. That's when we will unmute participants, one at a time. You may notice the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, and you can ask questions at any time there. If Zoom is giving you problems, we have created the page windsorgov.com/virtual meetings to help walk you through other options. It has been a busy and stressful week for many of us. I would like to take a moment to thank the many town employees that have been working tirelessly these past few days. I would also like to thank the many doctors, nurses, and emergency personnel from police and fire services that are responding to the growing demands of coronavirus. Over the past week, there has been growing concern about coronavirus or COVID-19. Your town staff and town board are taking these concerns seriously and working to both protect and inform our community. We are responding to the changing situation as we see fit and honoring state and federal health recommendations. We are all being asked to avoid gatherings with more than 10 people. Individuals who are sick should avoid leaving the house except to receive medical care. As I've said before, I can't predict the future. It's a challenging time, and I don't know when the fear and threat of COVID-19 will subside. But I do have faith in this community and this town. We have come together in difficult times before, and I know we can do it again because we are Windsor Strong. Now we're going to head into some department updates. I first want to report out on police services. Public safety remains a priority, and officers are on duty 24/7. Our service to the community is paramount, as well as the safety of our staff. Our police continue to respond to calls requiring face-to-face contact or police presence. They will cite, then release traffic and/or misdemeanor crimes with discretion, respond to all medical calls as needed, and only to emergencies requiring known life-saving measures or when requested or to assist our emergency medical services and LE partners while maintaining safe distances. They will limit all VIN check, fingerprinting, and non-required sex offender home check services. Non-essential in-person contact, they will take reports over the phone when possible. Our Public Services Department, all core functions remain ongoing and in operation. Facilities cleaning, administrative customer service, streets, parks, trails, utilities, wastewater, fleet, and stormwater. Update for Community Recreation Center. The CRC team is doing a deep cleaning of the 85,000 square foot facility this week. We're focusing on disinfecting all services, workout machines, walls, rails, tables and chairs, etc. Additionally, the lazy river side of the pool was drained and scrubbed. Staff continues to evaluate our situation and will have programs, athletics, and events ready when we are able to provide activities again. The Parks crew has been cleaning bathrooms at Chimney and Eastman Park and sanitizing playground equipment. Trails and parks remain open to the public, but we want to remind everyone to practice safe physical distancing and don't use trails or parks if you are sick. Our wastewater department systems are operating as usual with no issues. No water shutoffs will occur during COVID-19 as a matter of health and safety for our citizens. Our streets, the team handled yesterday's snowstorm well. Thanks to them and the parks crew for their snow removal efforts. Our town operations, currently town staff are responding to the highest tiered response to COVID-19, which means that buildings are closed to the public and in-person contact is extremely limited. All functions, including water bills, court, etc., are being conducted over the phone or through the U.S. mail. All buildings are minimally staffed, most working from home. Building permits right now are processed electronically. All town meetings will have options for public to participate via 1-800 number or through Zoom. And all public events and activities have been postponed until further notice. The continuity of government. Town Board and Planning Commission will continue their meetings with the option to participate on-site or remotely. Town Clerk will collect public comment prior to the meetings via special instruction. Instruction on how to comment will be included in each board packet when necessary. And we have set up windsorgov.com/virtual meetings to help residents navigate the virtual environment. The election impacts. Election ballots were mailed out on Monday, March 16th, and registered voters will receive them soon. Ballots will only be accepted by mail or at the county's ballot drop box in front of the Community Recreation Center. As far as business support, the town is considering ways it will support Windsor businesses through a potential economic downturn. Much of our Monday night town board meeting will focus on that, and yesterday many of us were part of a call with many of our key business stakeholders in our community, putting together a list of resources available that will soon be available on our website. Communications, Windsor-specific COVID-19 updates and information will be posted to the town's website at windsorgov.com/coronavirus. Town leadership continues to meet daily with staff to review and organize how to continue services for our public. Town and outside agency leaders from the town of Severance, the Windsor Severance Fire Rescue, Weld RE4 School District, and the Clearview Library also are meeting regularly to discuss changes to their operations as well. What are our next steps? The town is working to execute an emergency declaration through the town board during our Monday, March 23rd work session to be adopted at the ensuing town board meeting, which will ratify the decision to close town facilities and maintain essential services while operating with limited resources. Board members will also discuss how the town can best support local businesses. Before I now go into this Q&A, I want to remind everyone experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 to self-quarantine, and everyone is reminded to be mindful of physical distancing, avoid gatherings of 10 or more, wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water, and remember that this is an evolving situation. And I think now we're going to go into some questions that we have gathered. So Jess?
This is Jess Humphreys, Administrative Services Director, and I'm going to read off the questions we received via email first. The mayor will answer those, and then we'll work through Q&A through our Zoom process or over the phone. First question from Rosie V. When the 2-week closure draws to an end, who will decide if it is to be extended and for how long? How will we be notified? How will we know when this epidemic is getting better? And how are we to know when we can get back to normal after social distancing?
So first and foremost, who will decide? So the state health department and the county health departments will be the ones who will lead us into when we are safe and when we are able to reopen. As soon as this information becomes available, we will push it out into all of our town communication venues that we have available, as well as I believe we would post it to the current website under our special tab that we have going now under coronavirus.
Thank you. Joanna C. asks, will the town close the parks?
At this time, there is, I don't believe there's any notice to close parks at this time.
Deborah R. Is anything being done to help seniors and low-income individuals access services they need with current barriers such as social distancing and a lack of access to transportation? In addition, with a number of people wanting to volunteer, would a church possibly be available for donation drop-off, assuming less than 10 people are gathering and all necessary precautions are being taken? And what other help can we offer along with providing food and going shopping for people who need to isolate?
So first of all, is anything being done to help the seniors? So right now we are continuing our senior lunch program, and as long as our provider continues, I believe that we will continue that service. Right now, we are providing about 50 senior meals a day. Seniors are asked to either drive up to pick up their lunches, or I believe those that can't come out to pick up, there have been an opportunity for them to schedule us to make those deliveries to them. So those are continuing on. The Pooter Express service is still in service right now for those that need servicing. And as far as I know, all the other kinds of services that are in place for disabled seniors are still in operation as well. I don't know if anybody else, I know we have many of our staff members, has any other additional updates to that in terms of transportation availability?
This is Scott Ballstead, Director of Planning, and we are in close contact with our partners at Greeley Evans Transit, and if there's any change in service contemplated, we will report that out and communicate it as soon as possible.
Thank you, Scott.
Mayor?
Yes.
Eric, please.
Okay, great.
Eric, please go ahead.
Thank you, Jeff. This is Eric Lucas, Public Services Director. We also have our senior ride program. If people want to call the Recreation Center to schedule a ride, that service is ongoing.
Okay, so that's still in place as well. Do you want to say that number, Eric?
Yes, it is 970-674-3500.
Thank you.
And then, Mayor, this is Shane Hale, Town Manager. I just want to add to your answer with the parks, which is correct. We are trying to keep the parks open, but based on our earlier note, staff is cleaning all playground equipment daily. We're also cleaning the restrooms, but we are requesting that when people do use the parks, that they still practice good physical distancing and that they pay attention if the parks are full, if the playground equipment is full, to just go to a different park or to wait. So we are asking our residents to, still maintain good practices at parks, but we want to make every effort to keep all of our parks and open spaces open to give, people and their kids a place to go. So that's all I've got.
Thank you.
Eric raised his hand again.
Okay.
Go ahead, Eric.
We also are still keeping open and maintaining the restroom at Boardwalk Park that is in the rear of the Fire Museum facility.
Okay, thank you. The second part of that question was about the number of people wanting to volunteer with a church. I have not currently heard from my faith-based groups, but I'm going to be getting together, I hope, with them to do a call such as what we did yesterday with a bunch of our local business stakeholders, where together a bunch of us got together on a call to pull together what resources we know are available to help local businesses in town. We soon will be putting that information out, and I'd like to do the same next week on a call with our faith-based groups. So if there's any anybody out there listening, watch for an invite to get on a call next week. We'll pull all those folks together to find out what they're currently doing in their congregations or at their church sites, and then we'll try to get that in a place and space so that folks are aware of and have that information available to them. She also said, what other ways can we help offer along with providing food and going shopping for people who need to isolate? I think the important thing to remember here is we have to respect how each individual is responding to this, because you're going to have some at very heightened levels, and then you're going to have some who are a bit more relaxed. So I think the main thing is to just be respectful, however people are responding to this. There are many, and know that there are many resources available in our community. So if you do know folks who have or are in need, there are many folks that are already volunteering or playing a part in our community to help. Anything else?
At this time, we will open it up to questions from attendees that are online. I do ask for a little bit of etiquette. You have a couple ways to ask questions. You can use the question and answer function at the bottom of the screen in the Zoom screen. Just go ahead and type that in, and I'll prompt our mayor when you've asked those questions. You can also use the raise your hand function, and I will let her know and unmute you so you can ask your question. We are open now for questions.
Thank you, Jess.
Timothy Riddick, do you have a question? I have your mic unmuted.
Oh, we can hear you. Does anyone have a question? Oh.
I have an anonymous question. My neighbor's kids play in the backyard, and I can hear them coughing. Should I be concerned?
Well, I think there's a lot more to the virus. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor, so I wouldn't want to give any medical advice, but my understanding is there's more than just the cough that goes with this. I don't know what kind of relationship you have with your neighbor. I don't know if you have her phone number or his phone number. Yeah, you just might want to give them a call and let them know what you've been observing. I don't know if anybody else has any other suggestions, but that's what I would suggest.
Alan Middleton is asking, is there an ETA to reopen the rec center, or is that governed by the state health department?
Okay. Eric, are you online? I'll let you answer that question.
Stand by, Eric, so I can unmute you.
There, can you hear me now?
There you are, yep.
Sorry about that. Eric Lucas, Public Services Director. Right now, we are targeting the April 17th opening date. With that said, it is governed by what the state health department and the governor indicate to us. So we are following kind of in lockstep with the schools at this moment. So staff has begun to message that date out on our website today. But obviously, we will continue to listen to the state health department and our governor for further direction.
Thank you, Eric. Nick Simcoe asks, Are there any confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Windsor?
To date, we have no confirmed cases in Windsor.
Sim is asking, if a person is infected and staying in place, what program is there to deliver food or needed items to their home?
So if somebody is right now, if they're homebound, I know that many of our local businesses right now, our restaurants and eateries are offering delivery. I know, and services that way. So there is those kinds of services that they can reach out to. I don't know in terms of Larimer or Weld County. I don't know, I would refer if anybody's on the line who would have any information about if Larimer or Weld County has any additional assistance programs that they're aware of.
I have another anonymous question. When are schools expected to reopen?
So, Mr. Hale, you've had the last conversation with our school district. Do you want to give an update as to what they've been talking about to date?
Yeah, surely, Mayor. So the last conversation I had with the school district, which was yesterday, the state just ordered the extension of schools, I believe, through April 17th, which means that the soonest they would reopen is April 20th. So we're just kind of standing by right now. I think that the state of Colorado is going to have the final word on that. And looking at other states, I know Kansas has taken the step to cancel schools through the end of the school year. And I understand that other states are looking at that. So that could be an outcome. Again, we certainly don't know. And I think in the interim, the superintendent has done a lot of work and has worked with his board and his staff to try to see how we can resource people at home, to see if there's ways that we can give parents resources to educate at home, given kind of the uncertainty of when we can go back, bring kids back to school.
Thank you.
I do have another anonymous question. Can I get reimbursed for my rec membership?
Okay, Mr. Lucas? I know you've got some new things that you're entertaining about what you're doing there, so I'll let you answer that question.
Sure. Again, Eric Lucas, Public Service Director. Right now, what we are doing is from the date that we closed up until April 5th, we are extending people's memberships unless they contact us and say that they would like to be reimbursed or cancel their membership and reimbursed from there. And we are in the process of considering what to do beyond the April 5th date. And so people know why I'm referencing April 5th. If you have a membership that you are being billed on a monthly basis, that is the date that we charge your credit cards. So staff is making a decision on what we should do come April 5th. We hope to have a decision on that early next week and announce it to all of our members. If people are members and they've paid in full, we are basically counting all of the days that their membership has been closed because the rec center is closed, and we will add that on to the end of their membership.
Thank you. That sounds fair and practical. Anything else? I do want to remind folks that even if you don't have questions today, I'm going to assume communications, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but can they continue to email questions at communications@windsorgov.com? I know we had set that up for asking questions for this today, but I'm wondering if folks continue to have questions. Surely they can reach out to any specific department.
They can email communications during regular business hours, though we're not open to the public. They sure can call 970-674-2400. And they can also visit our website at windsorgov.com and check our coronavirus site for any new updates.
Okay. And just while we're waiting to see if anybody else has any additional questions, I know a lot of folks in our business community have growing concerns as well. That's why we had a special call yesterday with many key stakeholders to find out what resources and what is available to help with our business community. That information in detail will soon be out on the town website. We have a special tab under the coronavirus tab. If you go to that page, you'll see there is a special tab right to the left of that called Emergency Business Assistance. And that's where we will put in detail the information that we're gathering on ways that services and resources from the state and the county and even locally that we're able to compile and put together how we can best help our local business folks. In the meantime, I would encourage folks to remember that we do have lots of businesses that, at least for right now, are still open. And remember, they have pickup, delivery, takeout available, as well as they are still selling gift cards. So let's remember to continue to try to help and support these businesses as best as we can at this time. Okay. If nothing else, and then I just want to thank you all for joining our virtual meeting this afternoon. I appreciate everyone's patience and willingness to stay Windsor strong. Please keep in mind that we want to keep our residents informed, but we don't carry all the answers all the time. Just like you, we wish there were some type of way to predict how the next 2 to 8 weeks will go. Please remember in the meantime to avoid any unnecessary trips and to keep to yourself. As a final thought, I want to ensure the community has access to mental health resources should they need it. A crisis is defined not by the situation, but rather by the individual's reaction to the situation. And there is nothing too small for crisis. So again, we are Windsor strong, and remember that if we continue to work together, we can get through this all together. Thank you.